To enjoy life, risk is unavoidable. Some would say the most enjoyable moments come with the most risk. But risk can be managed so you can keep yourself safer. And that management is up to us, not the government, the police, or anybody else. We must take the personal responsibility to manage the risks in our lives to keep ourselves safer. That's what I'm going to talk about a little bit today on Coffee with Alain. Appreciate you joining me. Appreciate you sharing the podcast, sharing the videos, commenting, helping get this out to more people. You know, I have my nothing will work unless you do cup today, because that saying is so true. Nothing's going to keep you safe unless you do. It's your personal responsibility to keep yourself safe. And if you're responsible for others, to help keep them safe as well. Risk is unavoidable. We face risks every day. You get in your car, it is a risk. People die in automobile accidents every day. But we can minimize the risks of driving an automobile by wearing our seatbelt, by obeying traffic laws, stopping at stop signs, stopping at red lights, obeying speed limits, not driving too fast for the conditions. We can increase our safety and decrease the risks by paying attention, not driving impaired, not driving while we're texting, and not paying attention to the road and the surroundings. So we accept the risk of driving all the time. We can minimize the risks by driving safely, responsibly. Now, you can do everything right and still something bad could happen, but we want to minimize the risk, manage the risks to increase our safety. Good morning, Jay. Always nice to see you here bright and early and saying good morning. I appreciate it. Now, sometimes, as I said earlier, people enjoy greater risks because they believe that that is more enjoyment to life. And I agree with that to a certain part. You know, I mean, you could really manage risks if you just stayed in a secure environment and never ventured out into the world. And to me, that would not be enjoying life. I want to go out and enjoy everything I can. And that means risk will be unavoidable, and the risks will increase with certain things that I want to enjoy. And that's okay, because I will manage the risks as good as I can to be as safe as I can and accept that there are risks. And that's how we enjoy life. Jumped out of airplanes with the Army. Some of you may jump out of airplanes with the military or as civilians. There is a risk to jumping out of an airplane, but we can manage the risk by ensuring our equipment is proper, that we're properly trained, we know how to use the equipment, and so forth. Tons and tons of people jump out of airplanes safely, even though there's a risk to it. But we also know that some people have been seriously hurt or killed jumping out of airplanes. That's the nature of risk. You know, Jay says being aware, that's a key to everything, and that increases our safety with almost everything that we do. Dixon says, got to take the sour with the sweet. Exactly. We can't just live in a bubble that is completely safe. We have to take the risk to enjoy more of life. We just want to manage those risks. And that's the information that I provide to people to help you manage those risks. And a lot of it is common sense, but common sense is not commonly practiced. So what I'm trying to do is motivate you to enjoy life and do it safely and provide you the information to help you do that. So what are the risks that you take? Think about them. You know, take a moment, ponder some risks, and then take a moment to think about what you're doing to manage them, because you're doing it already. And then take that a step further and look at ways that maybe you haven't been managing risks, that you could do a little bit more, a little bit better to keep yourself even safer while you enjoy even more. Steven says, you can't just stand on first or second base. You got to go for the home run in everything in life. I agree with that 100%. We want to be completely used up. We're going to go for everything we can to enjoy and experience as much as we can. And by managing the risk, it enables us to do even more. And that's one of the keys to enjoy life safely. The podcast, the videos, the courses, the things I write is to help you do. Stephen says, when I first started martial arts, heavy rolling and falling in Aikido, you can roll and break your neck, but you prepare your train. Yep. I mean, you prepare your training, you learn to fall, and then that minimizes and manages the risks of being thrown. You know, we do that in Hapkido, you do it in Aikido, they do it in Judo and other martial arts. We train to hurt each other, but we learn to fall properly and do things to manage the risks of training so we can train safely and be better prepared for situations that we might encounter. Thou shalt not rust, only wear out. That's right. You know, sitting stagnant and rusting, that's not a life. We want to use ourselves up. We want to wear ourselves out doing so much. And if we practice health habits that I talk about at times, you know, getting your annual checkup, eating a decent diet, exercising, including breathing and stretching and aerobic type exercise, some interval training, some strength training. So you're a well-rounded fitness program that will help manage the risks of life. Because the better shape you're in, the better health and physical condition you have, that allows you to manage and do more things. Now, if you decide to do extreme events that take even greater physical conditioning and endurance and strength, well, then you need to train properly to get there to manage the risks of those activities. So everything we do can help us manage risks that we want to encounter to help us enjoy our lives better. Make sense? I hope so. That's what I wanted to just share today is it's up to us to take responsibility, to manage the risks, to enjoy more of life. And I want you to get out and enjoy a ton. And I want you to take risks. It's no fun in life if we don't go out and take risks. Taking risks is important, but manage the risks so you can be safe and successful as you take them. Everybody have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow.